folks. We haven't visited this one in a little bit. Let's do some catching up on Kiev to Rostov, GMT's East Front Series, Barbarossa, K2R, whatever you want to call it. So, let's see if we can't retrace a little bit here. In the south, the Germans, of course, they were able to get across. I got to roll for that bridge yet. Bridge repair. So they were able to get across, and now I figure it's time to try to get these, it may be too late, but try to get these Soviet forces out of here, because the Germans and the Romanians or Hungarians, whatever, are all the way across here and blocking all kinds of stuff. But they really can't get enough manpower together to blow away any of these Soviet units. The Crimea garrison stuff released, so they're all up in here now. And as you can see, their armor battalions are taking losses. There's one that's completely wrecked over there from another fight. All right, so, and we're starting to build. That's one thing about this game with the Soviets, boy. They get some serious fortification stuff. So as you can see, we're already building a line here and here. These are complete. Half of these are complete. Try to get some troops in there. I don't know how many we're going to get in there. I'm going to have to start. Well, I don't know. I mean, the thing is 85 turns long, and we're getting ready to start 43. So, we're what, the halfway point pretty much. Still nothing going on in the center of the battlefield. Here along, that thing again. Jesus, Chris, why don't you just send me a voiceover for this? This Dnepropetrovsk right there. Still nothing going on here, and they're fortified. The Italians have tried to hit this area here, but they're not going to get across there, so they're just going to sit there out of supply. Trying to move the rail line here. Trying to get these German rail lines forward. Having some success. I mean, it's little by little. This guy here, next turn, he'll touch that road, and that'll extend. Not that this one can go anywhere, but it'll extend this here. This one here, he gets up here. Eventually, it's going to extend this line here. And there's no fighting going on there anyhow. So let's get up north. Get this dice out of the way. Hey, 1, yay. That's an 8. All right, so we know that Kiev's been gone for a while, okay? The Germans took Kiev a while back. So now the push is starting. The problem is I've had 2 mud turns, so they're not gaining much ground. The German divisions that were sitting here, as you can see, they're an emergency supply, or you got 3 Panzer divisions that are on fuel stoppage. I got to get them back into supply, which doesn't look like that's going to happen this turn, although, yeah, because of this unit right here, which I got to roll for surrender. So as long as this clown is sitting here, and this rail line has not advanced to this point, this road is cut by that Soviet unit right there. But wait a minute. No, yeah, it's cut. So, but this guy here down here is, this guy here has caused a lot of havoc for German supply, because it makes this road right here not useful, and this road here ends right here. So there's no connection yet. I have to get this rail line up, but the Soviets are starting to pull back in this area. And as you can see up in this zone here, we're starting to build the line of construction here, and then we got that river right there that's going to be used. But like I say, it's been a mud turn, so nobody's moving real fast, and I don't think there's any T-34s on the map yet. But at the same time, the Germans can't really advance any faster. So this bridge up here, the railroad bridge, did get 1 point repaired. They got to get 1 more, and that's hard to do because you got to roll a 9 or better, and if it's a railroad bridge, you're already getting a -3 die roll modifier, so you have to have engineers there. And you need to have 2 of them so you can at least get an even, a no die roll modifier, because the first engineer, I think, is -2, and any additional is -1, and it's -3 basically, or -3 without any engineers to repair a railroad bridge, and you got to roll a 9 or better. And if you have 2 engineers there, it just makes it an even roll, but you still have to get 9 or better. We had some combat up north. German unit, Panzer Division right here, destroyed 2 cav units and a tank unit which pushed the armor artillery loss chart for the Soviets to the number 8, which you reset it there, and the Germans get a victory point for that. So I started to pull the Soviets out, but I got a couple units that are going to be trapped here. Germans, get them in supply. They'll take care of that mess there. And right now, the Germans need a dry turn to get moving. They need the weather to dry up so that these panzers can move. This stack, what was it? Was it this one here? No, it was down here. In these attacks down here, trying to get this gap open right in here. This unit fell back, but he was in here. These guys attacked a unit right here, I believe, and they lost an army that had an asterisk roll and went to the attrition table. And because the Soviets had tank units in there, they had army units in there, I had to sacrifice the panzer unit first. So that's your priority loss. So the pincer is closing, not fast enough, so we figure the deadline from the north is here and the south is here. So it's taking some work to get that closed. The Germans have some motorized reinforcements coming on this turn. Looks like they got a Panzer division coming on, some empty motorized or some extra motorized units, and then that's pretty much the limit. Soviets, well, they still have a big old card full of stuff over there, and they've got some pool stuff that they can pull on. So when you're playing this with your pool reinforcements, they have a game turn range you can bring them in on as reinforcements. If you choose to bring them in, depending on what turn it is, there might be a certain number of victory points you give to the Germans for bringing those units here. It's as if they're pulling them from another front where they're needed. So it adds victory points because you had to bring them in here to slow the Germans down. So there's 2 points of attack here. This is the main thrust up here. Once the Germans can get some headway up here, this is where the focus is going to have to be, because that's where a majority of the units are. And Army Group Center that sent those units down from the north, I don't know how long they're actually on the map, but I know they're not. I know they get withdrawn, or at least some of them will get withdrawn here before long, I think. So that's that. And in the south, the Germans don't have enough, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe if they can get them together. Maybe with these Soviet units pulling back, they can start to consolidate some of this force and push. But I figure if they are successful here, and they clear this out and seal off the Crimea entrances or exits, by the time they get to here, this whole line is going to be well dug in. Now, whether or not there's going to be units to put in there, I can't tell you. I imagine that these guys here, once this German set moves this way, these guys will probably have to get off of the Dnieper River here and come back into these emplacements. I'm hoping for the Soviets that they can finish out their line of emplacements here, of their fortifications in this area. Because these things, whether there's somebody in them or not, it does slow down the Germans, because once they got to destroy them, because they do interrupt supply. So even if they're unoccupied, a unit has to sit in there for an entire turn to get rid of them. All right, so that's the wrap up of turn 42, which is September 12th and 13th of 1941 in the Kiev to Rostov scenario or campaign. And it's, I've thought a couple times about taking it down because I need to shift this table in this room a little bit. But every time I come in and look at it, I'm like, man, I can't take this down. So I'm going to keep going at it. And as of right now, this thing is not coming down unless something really super exciting comes up and I need the table. But I don't know what else could be more exciting than this. The only thing I'm burning in the back of my head is Great Battles of the American Civil War, putting up a monster on this table that game. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so let's get this thing posted up so y'all can see how we've progressed in on our drive to Rostov. All right, we'll talk to y'all shortly.